Well, what is going on with Bitcoin? We need to take a deep dive into this. I apologize if I look a little wet or moist, but I just spent 6 hours doing scientific research on some dirty videos. Guys, let's get into this. As you can see, after Bitcoin entered back into this descending channel here, after it broke this line right here, you can see it's headed up towards this second line, and then we have some more targets we want to look at. What is going on with Bitcoin today? Why is it pumping when in fact the rest of the markets around the world are not doing very well? You can see here Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart actually breaking out just about an hour or so ago here, right around the $55, $54 range. When it did break out of that, you can see currently it's around 59. Will this pump continue? Is this going to be a short lasting move? We're going to take a deep dive. What is the critical area that we're currently at, okay? Because even though we've moved up currently, I think there's going to be some significant resistance where we're at currently. So we want to take a look and analyze that a little bit. I think we have a long way to go, but currently, why is this still moving up? And as well, very bullish, okay? When we were living through this time of dipping below this 200 week, that was very stressful. However, right now it's actually looking very good as we're getting a bounce right around and slightly above that 200 week moving average. What does this mean for Bitcoin on the long term? Why is this happening? With less than 2 months to go to the halving, what could this mean for everything, including the price of Bitcoin after the halving? So for all my other men of science who paused their work like me, let's get into this update. Wow, what is going on, my little chupacabras? Welcome back to a special episode of Bitcoin, okay? All I want for Bitcoin is for Bitcoin to go up. I want everyone to be healthy. I want this commotion to be done, and I want positivity, guys. Remember that, okay? We're here to bring the good vibes. One of my ways of doing that is by doing and analyzing these markets and doing a lot of scientific research on other things not related to cryptocurrency. Am I right, brothers? So, guys, we got a lot to talk about today in this update. Bitcoin is moving up, but why exactly? Okay, I'm sure all of you are aware of this overarching theme in the economy, in all markets, in gold and silver, in everything. Why is Bitcoin actually looking very good right now? Maybe, did Bitcoin actually dump because everything else dumped, or was maybe there a different reason behind it? Okay, so we're going to try to answer all those questions in this update. And we really want to spend a lot of time at the end of the episode after the TA, kind of just having a little talk about what is going on, what could this mean? So guys, as well, if you're new, make sure to enter for this ledger. All you have to do is leave a comment below. And if you're new, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the dings, and we can jump in to these things. So this is clearly the most bullish thing we can take a look at, guys. You can see here, we've been talking about this for the past few days, and obviously this candle going down to the 300 week is not a good thing, but we talked about this in the last update. The immediate bounce back up basically to the 200 week was a good sign there. Now again, we did close the 200 week below this. We closed this candle below the 200 week. However, we're actually seeing still some sort of a rebound. You see both of these candles, decent. This is a good hammer candle right here so far. Bitcoin showing a lot of strength here where not necessarily a lot of other markets are. Other markets continue to fall. This is the Dow Jones. This is US oil, absolutely just plummeting there. So a lot of these markets are not doing this right now. So why is Bitcoin doing this? Okay, so that's what we're going to dump into some TA here. Dump or jump, whichever you prefer, into some TA here. And before we do get into the TA, guys, sometimes TA doesn't work, and I'll tell you when. TA doesn't work when a once-in-a-lifetime black swan event destroys the economy, okay? Obviously, not every triangle and every wedge is going to play out when the entire market falls through the floor, okay? Obviously. However, within a few days of some of these moves already, we're still seeing some structural patterns in TA still working. So I'm a firm believer in TA. If you don't like TA, then you probably shouldn't watch these videos because they're mainly TA. However, with TA, okay, you have to remember, every once in 100 years, maybe there's some crazy event that absolutely destroys everything. And maybe for a few days, at the very least, maybe TA might not be the best thing to look at. But as of right now, TA is looking pretty good, so we're going to dive into that and show you what these charts are showing. So we just showed you the 200 weekly moving average, which is very important. Now, overall health, guys, we still have to show you this. This trend line going back about 6 years, we're still below that, okay? Bitcoin, we need to actually be above $8,000 for this to be confirmed. Now, currently, Bitcoin is about almost $6,000, right around $5,800, $5,900 US dollars. So we want to take a look at that. We want to show you why this move's been playing out and what are some overhead resistances for this move, okay? So we did have to extend this descending channel now because, again, it seems as though this line that was about a 7-month-long pattern that we broke out of for a few months and then came right back into is important to be looking at right now. For one, you see actually three times where we had closes basically right at the top of this first heartline channel. There's three, okay? This is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So a few like basically right at the top here, and then we had a few almost coming up to touch the middle one and not being able to. Now again, right here we were able to break through the first one and come up to the second one, okay? So we might be facing some significant resistance for right now here. So this is the second one right around the 6,000. The third one is right around the 6,300, 6,250 roughly on this line here, and then above that to get out of this descending channel again as of about tomorrow, we would need to be breaking about the 6,700, 6,800. Now, that is a lot to ask, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because overall, I have no doubt, the U.S. markets have not opened just yet. They actually open pretty much right as soon as my video is going to be done being recorded, only in about 15 minutes here. But I have no doubt that those, it's very possible that we'll see continued dumpage over the next few days in those markets, okay? And it could be hard for anything to be pumping while that's happening. However, Bitcoin is showing some strength. Obviously, the futures are even down, which are still open for the US stock markets, but these are still looking good. Now, at the end of the video, we kind of want to talk a little bit about why they might be uncorrelated right now. Okay, we mentioned this a little bit in the last update, but I want to point your attention to this as well, guys. This zone right here, from here all the way up to here, very light resistance. So I do think maybe getting above 7,000 in the next week, if Bitcoin continues its run, is very likely, and it would actually put us back above this channel. Now, again, all of this is so heavily dependent on, for example, this, or even this to an extent, okay? Whether it's the, stocks, gold, oil, silver, any of that. I think a lot of that will play a role there. But for right now, Bitcoin is moving up. And we take a look at this chart as well. You can see here in the hourly, there's no like very clear pattern here as to why this broke up on this chart. So you can see, I think that's more of a macro, like daily time frame that's actually showing this move. But again, you guys remember we had this move, we had a very nice swing, like a pump and then a swing here, and then very oddly came right back into the center of this, basically gravitated towards this, kind of going up and down above it, this level here. And then eventually, we actually, over the last few hours, just saw a move heading upwards here. Now, it's debatable just how strong this move is because, again, this is very early. We would honestly need to get a break right where we're finding resistance right now to get more bullish in the short term. So I'll say that again. So in the short term, if we want to see this move continue up, this is a very important part if you guys are watching this an hour or two from now because it might have already played out. If we want to see this move really continue and get some legs, we want to break this area right here, which is the top of this level of resistance, which has been since March 12th. So an entire week where this has been the very top of resistance, okay? You can see it multiple times here, okay? Right here, obviously right now as well, we're testing that right now and finding resistance. This is right here where this original little symmetrical triangle began forming, and it's right where we found support as we were plummeting back on March 12th. We can zoom out and kind of show you this. As we had that massive fall out of that broadening descending wedge, you can see this was the first level of support right here. And then bounced around here for hours and hours and then just plummeted. Same thing, tried to get back above this. Same thing here, tried to break 6,000, was unable to, and now we're testing 6,000 again. So this is basically the third time that we're trying to test 6,000. So this is a very key level in terms of that resistance. You guys can see that here. And without all those lines, I'll do it again. 1, 2, and basically 3. And again, right here is really important as well because this is where it first found a little bit of a bounce and held for about 12 hours before then continuing a massive fall. You see this other massive red candle came after failing to find support right around the $6,000 level. So that's incredibly important to watch there. This is a very important level. If we manage to break above 6,000, then I do think at least 6,500 could be in the cards here. I think we'd have to break right around 62 and then that 67, 62 area. This would be most likely where we'd end up in the short term, right in this area here. But again, we could even see a move maybe up to 7,000 if these markets permit. If the broader economy doesn't hinder everything too much, then obviously I think at least 7,000 would be a very good short-term target here. That's where the first major resistance comes in. And the reason why that's major resistance, you can see massive amounts of activity right here, which is right around the 72, 71. Okay, we have, this was the bottom for this inverse head and shoulders that we broke out of back in December of 2019. And then we have this was a decent amount of resistance right here as well. So there's some horizontal resistance. There's some crazy support and volume levels here at this level as well. And very importantly, when we get up to those high 7,000s, that's where the golden pocket then is for this massive swing area from this high of the bull market of 2017 to this high of the bull market of 2013. If we pull out the fib to those levels, this will provide some pretty decent resistance most likely. So even if we got back to that $7,000 level, which looks which looks roughly about this on the charts, if we got a move up to there on the upside, that's the upside move. If we got a move up there, there would most likely be a lot of resistance right around this area. Okay, but that's not saying we'll even get up to there. But again, if this remains bullish, this is where you want to look, because again, I think there's going to be a lot of friction there if we would ever manage to get back up to there within the next few days. On the downside, everything kind of remains the same. 4,000 is a very strong support right now. Can't really go below 4,000 on the downside there. Right here, you probably want to stay even probably above the 5,000. We might be able to see some support if we trade within this range. And again, if we get to the end of this, we could actually see a breakout too, as long as this would hold there. So far, this line has about 4 touches, so that's a pretty good start there. Again, very early on, so you want to see how robust that is. Don't want to put too much emphasis on it, but that combined with some historical past support and resistance is very important there. So let me know what you guys think. Why do you think that Bitcoin seems to maybe be decoupling from these markets right now? What is your honest opinion? Do you think this will continue? Maybe by the time the video gets uploaded, it hasn't continued. Guys, TA is very important, so make sure to be aware. And as well, guys, I've been reaching out to you guys through this site. You guys can direct email me from this. I've been reaching out, talking to a lot of you guys. Thanks so much for purchasing. And as well, still 50% off. We're going to be adding some stuff on swing trading and as well information on leverage trading. I personally don't recommend leverage trading, but we're going to be adding some topics and lessons on leverage trading. I don't have any links for leverage trading. I don't personally think people should be using them, but I'm going to provide some basic information in these courses as well. We're going to be adding that.